Hello guys and welcome to this new video. In this video we're gonna do something quite interesting. This involves the C programming language because C is still a very relevant language, sorry, uh, and is one of my favorite languages actually. So what I'm gonna try to do in this video is I will try to use Android Studio to code C apps in Android Studio. Okay, so that's the goal of this video. I think, well, it's possible, right? Because Android, as you know, allows you to code in C++, but for Android devices. Android Studio allows that. But now we want to code for Linux, right? So basically, the plan is to edit the code with Android Studio and compile and run it, or use some tool like CMake from the command line. Okay, so basically what I just did here is create a new empty Android Studio project for Android, right? Like your regular Android Studio project. I selected the option this with no activities, so I don't need activities. I'm just setting this up just to keep allow it to work and allow Android Studio to work. Also, I have here a guide in which I extract the relevant code from one of my Android apps. This was extracted from the Optimal Launcher, which is my app. Go to atomantic.com if you want to test that app. This is a launcher, an Android launcher I had made for me, but later I decided to put it on the internet. It is 49 cents, so it's not expensive. If you want to try, it's available on the Play Store, and you can go to atomantic.com to get it. But anyways, so this is something that I extracted from that app. That app actually uses some native code. So okay, so basically this is what you would extract of any NDK Android project or any app that uses the NDK. If you don't know what's the NDK, well, the NDK is Native Development Kit, and you have to have it installed in order for the Android Studio IDE to show you or help you write in C or C++ code. I won't do C++, but the same procedure is applicable, right? So basically, you need to go here to the Android SDK tools, and then you will install NDK and CMake. Right? If you already do native Android development, you already have this installed. But okay, so now that we have that installed, what we're gonna do is basically the Java folder we will not touch it. Right? We will actually create a JNI folder next to the Java folder, and inside that one is where we're gonna put our. This is called C on Android Studio, right? So app source main, I want just to show you how it's structured. So here you will create a new folder. You'll name it JNI. I guess this can also be done from the IDE, but just to be sure we're doing things right, we'll do it from here. Okay, and also we have to create the CMake lists. So source JNI CMake list.txt. Okay, so here we'll create. Apparently, we can't create from here. Maybe from the IDE would be a better idea. I guess we have to switch it to back project. Probably this will allow us to see all the internal folder structure. JNI, as you can see. So here I'm gonna create a new file, I guess, right? Or cmakelist.txt. I guess this can also work, right? cmakelist.txt. Okay, so what we're gonna put inside that cmakelist.txt is this right here. You can copy this, and again, if you already have an Android project, you can use whatever you have. Well, this is something that is reminiscent from my previous project, which is .needed.gl. Yes. We don't need that. So maybe this is actually the thing. Let me delete this from this. So this is not needed for this project. Okay, so let's save it. I guess I will include this on the on the description of the video so you can paste it easier. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to create our actual, we also have to add what's here on the Apple level build.gradle file. Okay, so we will add this, basically. Let's see if that's possible. I guess we can switch back to project files, right? So we go to, or actually to Android. Okay, Android module right here. Let's see, inside Android. So here, after this, we will add the where is the CMake lists file located, and we'll also specify the version of our Android NDK. Okay, but now this is a problem because we are using a different, how it's called, a different syntax, because I guess this one is using non-KTS. Okay. So I don't actually know how to do this. What I will do, I don't know if it's possible, but here we have a roadblock, so I don't know how to do this. Okay, so I'll ask ChatGPT for help on this one. Let's see if ChatGPT can help me. Okay. Alright, I should say how to include NDK on Android Studio using the KTS Kotlin syntax Gradle. I don't know if that will help me with that, but basically 4 days ago. Quite new. Okay, say install. We already have that installed, as I told you. The specific version of CMake here, Android external native build, or here, or actually have it in Groovy. Now Kotlin, as you can see, it has an equal. That's the new syntax. That's what I'm trying to do. But then you say we want to see more. It does not include basic manager. Follow the steps. CMake there. Isn't this? No, maybe it's not what I'm searching for. Okay, so here I have something useful actually. Here I have something useful for the NDK version. NDK version, then the version between that. So let's see if that works. So NDK version, then the version there. Is that, oh, it's double quotes, right? I guess that's the problem. Okay, and NDK path, I guess, is the same thing, right? An equal. And of course, home is not defined. So in this case, in my case, is home coder, where it's located. And here we have the CMake lists file, still not known. Okay. Configure CMake. Not telling me really how to do this. Okay, so here, this is path file. Okay, so path file. Okay, so yeah, so here we have to kind of update what we had here in the, so this would be for the Groovy syntax, so older syntax, and here we have the Kotlin KTS syntax. I don't know if that's correct, I guess. Then they have this. Okay. And of course this goes inside Android, right? So if you have, for some reason, have the one or the other, you can choose it from here. Well, mainly as I did, you may want to use this newest one because it's like, right? But it doesn't matter really. So now I'm gonna click on sync now. And here in cmakeLists.txt, here I have defined one source file, which is called main.c. So now I'm gonna try, as you can see now, CPP has a folder, but it still doesn't allow me to create a file. So let's see if I can cd into JNI. And I guess I can create a file here, like touch main.c. Will that appear here? Apparently not. Maybe I need to refresh link C++ projects. Sometimes that works. Yeah, it worked. Okay, great. So now we have our C file and we have set up our CMake lists. Of course, I don't think we're gonna use this because this has Android stuff. We want to really do C for Linux. Okay, so we can, it's not that difficult, right? It's not that difficult. So let's test it, right? So int main. Let's see if I remember how to write C. Return 0, right? Is that how I used to write C? Again, as I always do here, to define a macro for C, I say define OL. Is that correct? But just O, I guess I will define it in C. O, 3 dots, and then of course I have to include the standard input out. As you can see, it helps me autocomplete and all that, so it's working fine. Include stdio. I don't know if that's, yeah, it even includes stdio, which is great. So printf ba args, if I'm not mistaken. This is how this works. And now I say, oh, hello SeaWorld from Android Studio, and a new line. And a semicolon at the end. It's been some time since I used semicolon. So here it has 4 indent spaces. I don't like that, as you may know. So I go to change that. I go to editor, code style, C++. And here I guess I can change these to 2, this to 2, right? I don't know what this is, to 4. 2, 2, 2, 2. I guess that's what I want. Smaller indent. Is that correct? Did it change? Yes, great. Now we're talking. Okay, now I cannot run it from here. I have to compile it. So there, I'm in the terminal. I'm gonna say clang main.c o main, and it's compiled. So now I can run main, and says hello SeaWorld from Android Studio. So we have created a C app for Linux using Android Studio, which is great. We don't need any of this. We only need to use the CPP library. Of course, here, when you add a new file, for example, let's add a new file like utils.c. So a new header. Should I do header? or source. I don't remember about this. Let's do header, right? I'll say utils.h, okay? And I'm gonna say okay, and it creates a new utils.h. Okay, so now I say I don't want to have this defined it here. I want to move this to utils.h, and I will, do it in this way. So utils.h, you have that, and it says not found. So we'll check that, and here we will include utils.h. So include utils.h. Okay, but now there may be some problems. Well, it fixed it, right? But because sometimes, well, I don't think it's a problem with that H files, or it is. I don't know. But let's see if it still compiles and runs as expected. Yes, it does. So, well, the point is that maybe you have a utils.c file, right? Okay, so for example, utils.c, utils.c. Okay, and here we defined, I guess I have to import, right? Include, sorry, utils.h, and here I'm gonna create a function, which I'll say void. I'm rusty in C. Say hello, for example, the function, and then I'll say ol, actually just O, saying hello. Okay, and now it's not undeclared identifier printf, it says. So I guess this thing has to be included from the utils.c one. I don't know, maybe. But the thing is that I want to call here, I want to be able to call this function, which is say hello. So I will put into the header file right here. I guess this is how you do it. Semicolon at the end, right? I think so. Say hello. Okay, now I'm gonna run it and see. And it says undefined reference to say hello. Okay. It says undefined reference to say hello. Yeah, of course, because I'm not including the thing, and also up here it says this file is not part of the project. Please include it in the proper build file, build creator image list or other MK and sync the project. Okay, so that's why maybe this syntax thing is not working and all that. Maybe. Right, so what we're gonna do is gonna say utils.c will include that into CMake lists file. Sorry, that's my timer. Okay, and so here, let me pause it so it doesn't bother us. Okay, so here, I'm gonna say also utils.c. You don't have to include your H files, right? And then I will sync, and hopefully this problem will go away. Yes, it goes away, and now the O thing is working. So when you create a new C file, you have to include it here, not to compile it from here, but for the IDE to correctly work and correctly do syntax, highlight, and to help you code. Now here, of course, it's not working because I'm not compiling the other thing, which is also utils.c, right? When I do that, it actually compiles, and I can run it, and it will say hello from Android Studio, and then it says saying hello. And of course here I forgot the new line, but now I can do that. I can compile it again, of course, because this is C, and I can do that. Okay, so but now, so it works. That's basically the basic process and how I would use Android Studio to code in C, which is kind of cool, right? So we have now an IDE that helps us code in C, and now you can, make your own make files actually for compiling your project and all that. That depends on you. But so far so good. I think probably this is the best free IDE for C and C++, this kind of setup, to develop Linux apps in C and C++. Sometimes you have to use C. Sometimes there is something that you need to do it in C or C++ and you want something easier to write code in. I personally find it really hard to write it in other like Vim or other tools like that. I still prefer to use an IDE. It's still better for me. So this is a free way in which you can use this, thanks to Google, right? Because Google want their Android apps to be able to leverage on C and C++, so they add this support to Android Studio for free. As opposed to Sea Lion, which also does the same, but it's not free. So here you have a free way of coding. And okay, so this is basically the tools that we have to go here. But now let's enhance this and solve this problem. Let's see if I, just for the sake of it, just for the muscle, let's say if I want to create a function here in which I will define it as OL. And this OL will receive a sort of, I don't know if I can do these BArgs or something. I think this is only from macros, right? For macros. Yes. But what I want to do really is, well, maybe I can just to do, I'll say void OL, right? And then here I'll pass a string, right? Well, basically yes, so char pointer, which I'll call str. Okay, and then of course that's a way in which you can do this. But then, you know, I don't like to say char because it's too long. So I'll define C as char. Is that how we define it? No, it's type def, I guess. Type def char C. Is that how we do it? I guess. So now we can use C instead of char. Kind of cool, right? I guess. Then I will implement this function on the utils.c file, right? So here it says olstr. The way it works is, well, we're calling O with an S and then an N. It's a new line. L stands for line, right? So print line, output line. So for those who don't know, this is output line, right? So here we will print str. Okay, so now, as you probably knew or figured out previously, I put this on the top, the say hello thing was not printed in a new line. But now that I can use and do OL, right, I don't need to print a new line right here, in theory, right? So now let's see if it works. As you can see now, I'm able to print this new line without printing a new line right here, just by calling OL. And I will also want to do the same from here. Instead of printing this ugly thing at the end, I will just say OL. Will that be okay? Let's see. Okay, it works. So this is, guys, how you can develop C apps for Linux using Android Studio, which is quite cool because you can jump around, open this. You can, I don't know, do Control R and then search for OL, and then you will like find the things that you need, which is quite nice, right? All the good things we have. It even opens STDIO, which is okay. Of course, this may be the Android one, right? As you can see, but okay. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, follow, comment, and I'll probably do more videos on writing more C code from this setup. I will definitely use it for my personal uses, guys, because I really share you guys what I do in my personal projects as well, right? So this is not just a tutorial for you, but this is for me as well. Okay, so thank you for watching, and leave a comment, like, and do subscribe, whatever you do on YouTube. Thank you. Bye.